Hey everybody, this is a little story time on how I beat my gun case at 17. Well, let's get straight into it. So, I was 16 at the time initially when everything happened. I had a Polymer 80. It was my second one that I had. I built it myself. I was with two of my cousins. We were in the woods smoking. We'll call one Dave. And we'll call the other one, I don't know. Javi. There we go. Dave and Javi. Some weird ass names, right? Anyways, Dave and Javi, we're out there smoking. We're having a good time. And at the end, we're like, all right, let's go back to my car. So we start walking out of the little trail in the woods out to my car. As we're walking out, I see an undercover cop car pull up to the side. And I'm like, oh shit, yo, look, there's an undie right there. And we always said undie for undercover and shit like that. So look over, there's the undercover cop car, and then he just drives away. We don't think anything of it. We start walking towards the trail exit. As soon as we get towards not even 50 feet from the trail exit, just 6 unmarked cop cars pull up in front of the trail exit. So now we're like, oh shit, what did we do? All we did was smoke. Why are all these undercovers just pulling up here? So the cops get out the cars, and they're not regular cops. They're wearing suits and ties. These are detectives. We're like, man, what the fuck? So the one detective walks up to us. He goes, what are you guys doing back there? You guys smoking? So then I said no. Dave said no. But then fucking Javi, he said yes, and then he said no. Why the fuck would you say yes and then no, bro? Come on. So then after he said that, cops like, up, you already said yes. So then, like a dickhead, like a fucking weirdo, hate that cop. So then they went ahead and started trying to get IDs and shit. I gave them my ID, and then my two cousins, they didn't have their IDs on them, so they went ahead to just tell them the names. They wrote it down. Cops went to the back car, and while they're waiting in the car, they come back out, give me my ID, and they say to my one cousin, Dave, they go, hey Dave, you know you got a warrant, right? And I'm like, fuck, because Dave got a book bag on him. And the whole time they were asking about the book bag beforehand, but the whole time Dave saying, nah, this my book bag. Nah, y'all can't search it. And they had no reason to search it. They had nothing that they could search us for, so they were about to let us go, but then that warrant fucked Dave over. So the cop walked over to Dave. He's like, yeah, it's just a little warrant. Don't worry about it. I already knew in my head right there what was about to happen. Anytime you have a warrant, it's not something to not worry about. You're about to get booked. So I knew he was about to get grabbed right there, and I knew he was about to have a gun case too. And sure as shit, they walked over, took the book bag off him. One cop put him in cuffs, and the other cop started shaking the bag. When the cop shook the bag, he goes, quote unquote, it feels like there's an extended clip in here. No, I'm sorry. He shook the bag, and he goes, it feels like there's a gun in here. When he pulled out the gun and goes, oh wow, with an extended clip? And then at that point I laughed. I couldn't help it. The way he said it, he like dragged the extended clip, like it made it that much more dangerous. So he took it out, took the bullet out the head of the gun, put the gun to the side. Then without saying a word to me, I'm just standing there. They walk up to me, just start patting me down. Then mind you, I had my gun on my waist, right in front, like, you know, like to like the right of my dick a little bit. So they walk up, start patting me down. They grab my gun. I'm like, shit. Alright. So then they throw me in cuffs, take me down to the cell. And the whole time they're asking me how I got there, I didn't want them to tow my car. So I was telling them that I walked there. They ended up running every plate in that parking lot, and then they found my car. So they still towed it, still put it in the impound. So now I get sent to the juvenile. I didn't get to see my mom, nothing. They just had me waiting in the cell and sent me straight to the juvenile. When I get to the juvenile, I'm sitting there. I had to do this during COVID times, so I had to do a little, how do I put it? Little like quarantine in there basically for the first day. Well, it's supposed to be the first 3 weeks, but I'll get into that, right? So the first day I'm in there, shit smooth how I thought it would be. Next day, I get a phone call while I'm in school. Yeah, they make you do school all year round. Don't matter if it's the summer, winter, doesn't matter. You gotta do school. So I'm in school in there. And then they pull me out. They go, "Oh, you got a call from, there was somebody in the court. It's not my attorney. It was like the case preview people or whatever. It's only some shit they do for juveniles." So I pick up the phone and she's telling me the charges, something about carrying a firearm as a minor. So I tell her the gun was mine. I built it myself, so it has to be legal. And which is right, but it's also wrong. It's legal if I was 21, but I wasn't 21, so that's what made it illegal. She said, "Right, but you still had a gun." So I just hung up the phone on her. I didn't go back and forth. Conversation lasted all of like 3 sentences. You know what I mean? As soon as we went ahead, hung up the phone, everybody's looking at me all shocked. I went right back. Then my attorney called me, asked me what happened. I told her. He said, "That's really weird because they're not saying anything on what happened right now. They just have the charges." So then she filed for discovery in court. When she filed for discovery, oh, mind you, before that even happened, before she filed for discovery, I had my next hearing. My next hearing, they put me back on house arrest because I was working at the time too. Put me on house arrest so I could still go to work. And then my next court date was supposed to be a hearing, but my lawyer filed for discovery to find out what their probable cause was to search me. Filed for the discovery, and they said that they had body cam footage that showed everything. Well, I already knew they didn't have body cam footage because they were detectives. They were wearing suits and ties. They might have dash cam footage, but there's no way they had body cam footage. Well, sure as shit, no body cam footage ever comes. So now we file a suppression hearing. In the suppression hearing, the arresting officer, he comes on, fucking Mr. Sergeant Dick Eater, comes on and he tells me how basically that he tried to say that I lifted up my shirt, and when I lifted up my shirt, I said the gun's right here. That's false. That's completely false. When they went to search me, I put my hands up, that's true. But I never lifted up my shirt and said the gun's right here. Fuck, I look like a dickhead. Y'all searching me illegally anyways. One question about him searching me illegally, he said to the judge, he looked at the judge and said, "It wasn't a search, it was a pat down." Now, I don't know what kind of logic that was, like what kind of slick move he thought he was pulling out of his ass. But the way I look at it, if you patting somebody down, that's a form of a search. You looking for something, right? You searching. So, off drip, I already knew my shit was about to be thrown out. My attorney was smiling, and I had a good attorney too. It was a little white girl. She knew what she was doing. So, fast forward like another 3 months, I got my next date to hear what happens about the suppression. So I go in, and before I even go into the courtroom, I'm talking to my attorney, and she's like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know they're throwing everything out. All the charges getting dropped against you." I'm like, "Oh, bet, that's lit." So I go, and everything got dropped. As soon as I went in, the judge said everything's getting dropped. All the documents, fingerprints, everything getting shredded. So I'm like, okay, bet. So, leave. I got to cut off my bracelet, my ankle monitor. I was mad lit. Called up my cousins, same ones that I was with. I was like, "Yo, I beat my case. Y'all could probably beat yours too." I'm not gonna speak on their cases too much, just cause you know. But yeah, guys, that's what happened with me. That's how I beat my case. It's pretty damn easy to beat a gun case if they don't have any actual solid evidence or reason to be having you stopped in the first place. With that being said, I hope you all did enjoy my story. I have a lot more stories. Everything. I won't ever tell y'all. Let me say this too. I won't ever tell y'all anything that I did that I didn't get caught for, just because that's stupid as fuck. So everything that I talk about are all things that I've been through and all things that I've been tried for, or the case has been thrown out for. I won't ever incriminate myself on here in any type of way. However, I will talk about my past, and hopefully some young nigga out there, somebody, can hear it and use it as their pain instead of making their own pain. Anyways, y'all be easy, y'all stay blessed, and stay up. It's been Soto, man.